On the Tunisian island of Djerba, a synagogue has stood on this spot for over 2,500 years. Around 1,500 Jews live in the country, most on this island. Here, Jews mix with Muslims, Arabs with Berbers in relative harmony. But despite reassurances from the new Islamist-led government, since the revolution, stories of younger Jews doing what others have done throughout the 20th century, leaving the country, are on the up. At a festival being held in the synagogue, I speak to Mehdi, as we'll call him, who tells me of the concerns the community has. His identity has been concealed.
Before the revolution, Tunisian people lived in peace. Jewish, Christian, and Muslim, and atheists. But after the revolution, the mind, we can say that was being different. We have the Salafists, Jihadists, all of them.
Most Jews left the capital Tunis years ago. All that remain, to use the stunning Art Deco synagogue, are a handful. And since the revolution, a number of demonstrations have targeted and threatened them. These were the scenes outside the synagogue at the time of the uprising. Anti-Jewish chants which have been replicated in public on more than one occasion. Mehdi's story is far from the norm, and he's taking a real risk speaking to me. Like the vast majority of Tunisians, he was born a Sunni Muslim, but he's now committing the sin of apostasy and converting to Judaism after making Jewish friends and becoming fascinated with the tradition. Amid the festival's heavy security, he shares his hopes.
I didn't feel it. I stayed don't believing in Islam. You have all the right to believe in the religion what you think the best for you. If they don't accept my new religion, I will look for a new home in another city.
He has reason to be concerned. This show of strength was filmed at one of Islam's holiest sites this past spring, Tunisia's great mosque of Kairouan. It would have been unimaginable before the revolution. But now, amid a post-revolution debate on what it means to be a Tunisian, ultra-conservative Muslims, many operating as part of the broad Salafist movement, which advocates a puritanical approach to Sunni Islam, have become increasingly vocal after years of oppression. Demonstrations have often turned violent, and critics say the government is being too soft. Like many NGOs, the Association for the Support of Minorities would not have been permitted before the revolution, but it's now attracting interest from the media and some politicians in its calls for a clampdown on what it says the source of the problem is.
They've taken the control of 400 mosques, and now they are teaching the new generation the way they think. I'm talking about Salafists, and it's a really bad thing, especially for a country who is going to learn the democracy.
While a number of mosques may be up for dispute, the concern about the rise of ultra-conservative groups is widespread. Inside this church in central Tunis, a small Russian Orthodox community has worshipped for decades. Several times a week they gather in song. But after the revolution, the community was shocked by the desecration of its gravestones. And soon after that, a man walked onto the church grounds and began smashing its crosses. before others made personal threats.
Еще через 2 дня пришел этот человек и принес письмо, в котором говорилось о том, что мы обязаны снять всю христианскую символику, которая мешает правоверным мусульманам здесь, в Тунисе. И если мы не снимем, то они применят силу. Также было сказано, что мы обязаны принять ислам. Когда я спросил, если мы не примем ислам, то он сказал, что применят силу и мы должны будем платить налог в партию Аллаха.
He says his family, which lives on site, saw men circling the building at night before they found faeces smeared on the walls. One man was sentenced to jail, security was provided, and the secular president in the government coalition even visited the church. But his family was shaken.
Это было неприятно. Мы не знаем, сколько членов находится в этой партии Аллаха и какие у них намерения. Какая вероятность, что на следующий день не придут и не просто не поубивают нас всех.
Other Christian groups I spoke to refused to be filmed. Arab Christians told me off camera that in the new Tunisia there may be repercussions if their faces appeared on television. And tucked away in the capital's Medina, I met another minority facing new challenges. Stambali is a Tunisian take on a spiritual, musical tradition unique to North Africa, stemming from the beliefs of sub-Saharan slaves. Followers communicate with the spirits of deceased black African holy men via a chosen caretaker, in this instance Riyadh. But now, radical Islamists are scaring his flock from visiting the resident saint's tomb. Riyadh says fewer people are visiting out of fear.
مع البروبليم هذا والمشاكل هذه وبعد الثورة والسلفية والناس أصحاب الدين وهذا حرام وهذا حلال وهذا بدعة والناس تفتن تسمع فيه كل شيء، أما كان قبل الثورة من أحسن.
Those who practice Stambali are Muslims who often visit mosques as well. But now unwelcome visitors are telling him what to do in the name of Islam. And Riyadh doesn't want the new identity debate to sideline groups like his.
جاء برشا، أما يدخل منا يخرج منا كما يقولوا نزوز يدخل منا يخرج منا. هما مش كتابهم مش قرآن ولا نبي ليش يجي. تلقانا لازم نوسعوا بيننا. خاطر ماك تعرفوا ساعة الباقي خاطر كان الجوش يقول أنا هو يقول إيه وأنا نقول لا وأنا نقول لا إيه وهو يقول لا. يصير بروبليم وتصير مشاكل ويصير توصل حتى لضرب ومضروب وشيء. نحن نتجنبوا الحكاية هذية ونقولوا خويا كان بدعة خليها لي أنا بدعة وكانوا حرام أنا نعم في الحرام أنت يقعد في الحلال وحاجة هذية ديما نرجعوا ونرجعوا اللي هو قبل كل شيء تراث بلاد.
But as Mehdi's keen to point out, the groups seeking a caliphate with Islamic law have a different idea of nationhood to people like Riyadh.
The Salafists want all of the territory of Tunisia became Islamic country, state. They usually forget that we have Jews, we have the Christian, and the atheists.
Yet politically inclined conservative Muslims still feel demonized after years of secular dictatorship. Many preachers refuse to speak on camera. Attempts to set up and film at mosques, preaching a more puritanical message, are rendered near impossible by their teenage followers. Fear of journalists, foreign or Tunisian, runs deep. Banned in several Arab countries, the Tahrir Party wants Muslim nations to be united under the one caliphate, and the new government's just legalised it in Tunisia. Its spokesman tells me they and the Salafists are stigmatized by a biased local media which indiscriminately lumps pious Muslims and troublemaking thugs together as one. He says the true Islamic caliphates of history have a better record of protecting minorities than democracies.
ولذلك هذا الذي يخاف من حقه أن يخاف على مصالح ملوثة ومصالح استعمارية ومصالح يعني فهمتي معناها تكاد تكون يعني شيطانية طبيعي جدا. أما بالنسبة لمجموع الأمة الناس بل حتى أهل البلد وسكانها حتى من غير المسلمين عاشوا بالإسلام عبر التاريخ قرون وشافوا رحمة الإسلام وما ثماش خوف البتة من تطبيق الإسلام بطريقة راشدة بطريقة مسؤولة التي يدعو إليها عقلاء الأمة ومنهم حزب التحرير.
He brushes aside conversion from Islam as an anomaly, but he's clear when I put to him the tradition of saints and shrines.
وزيارة الأولياء فهي في الإسلام بطبيعة الحال عمل غير مقبول. الزيارة والتقرب إلى حد العبادة تصبح نوع من العبادة. فالأصل في أن ندعو لذلك بالفكر أما أن نمنع الناس بالقوة.
Yamina Therbet wants all Tunisians to face up to the question of minority freedoms. And like many secular people here, she wants the government to take action for the sake of the country.
The government have to make decisions concerning their existence here in Tunisia and their lives here in Tunisia. So the government can't continue or keep on avoiding this problem. And now I think that we are moving to democracy, and I think that we have to talk about all the problems that we can face in our society.
The new government has its hands full fighting economic stagnation. But the head of the coalition leading Islamists denies his party is neglecting the issue while it focuses on poverty and a new constitution. Nor is it soft on extremists who would do minorities harm. But he says Tunisia is in the process of building a real democracy.
We have to dialogue with them to convince them that Tunisian is not a country for one party, Islamist party. It's country for all citizenship, whether Islamists or non-Islamists.
He says the recent threats to a merge are a blip which can be overcome.
Tunisia is an open country, and the minorities in Tunisia are living peacefully.
Tunisia has been home to empires and peoples which have come and gone. From Carthage and the Romans to the Berbers, Ottomans, French, and of course Arabs, each group has left its mark on this small corner of North Africa. Now its Sunni Muslim identity is likely to be further enshrined by democracy. But those swimming against the tide, whether born a religious minority or drawn to be one, will have to readjust to new realities. Despite everything, Mehdi is optimistic.
We go to the democracy. Okay, we have to respect each other. We live together, Muslim and Jews, Muslim and Christian. Finally, we are Tunisian.
Just outside the capital, the ruins of ancient Carthage show how truths and certainties can so quickly end. And now, in turn, the society that was before last year's revolution is also gone. Like the Tunisians who voted them in, the new government and the modern Islamists at its fore are aiming to show their progressive, tolerant side. But to do that, they'll need to keep a lid on the few that would like to spoil the party.